Hi guys, do you remember that little red strawberry looking mouse from JERRORR I reviewed a while back? Well, JERRORR has made a pro version of that and it's now even smaller and lighter and somehow maybe even sturdier. Let's get the tech specs out of the way and also the wireless performance, since in that regard nothing has changed and the mouse sports the Pixar 3395 sensor with the Nordic MCU and pretty much clocks in the top of the line numbers in click and motion latency. You can configure the mouse with the WebDriver that is found on the address mouse.xyz. One thing that you should do in there is to set the click dip bounce to TUI and adjust the slider all the way to 0 for the lowest click latency numbers. But okay, how does this thing differ from the regular HTR then? Well, the main difference is something you can't really see from the top, but this mouse is actually a unibody design. So there are no separate bottom and top pieces in this mouse. Of course, the mouse buttons are screwed into the shell, and then there is this removable support rod that you can remove to lose a 1 gram if you want, but otherwise it is still a single piece of plastic. For additional stability with the shape, there is also this funky looking lip on the back where the skates are attached, and while it may look silly, it works really well and it gives a nice amount of balance to the mouse when you use it. Another difference from the regular HTR is that the button height is now a bit lower, and also is the whole mouse around the amount that the bottom piece added, so approximately 2 millimeters all the way the mouse. The weight is also now lower, so just around 25 grams with dot skates and without the grips, and with these 2 side grips and the full side skates it is a couple of grams more, so 27 grams. The regular HTR was around 28 to 29 grams with dots and without the grips, so the difference is around 3 to 4 grams. Might not sound like a big difference, but 4 grams is almost 14% of 29 grams, and that is a big difference in percentages. Can you feel it? Probably not, but for fingertip mice, lower is generally considered to be better. And that is what this mouse is, a strictly fingertip oriented mouse. With the HTR I could use a weird knuckle claw grip and manage to get some grandmaster scores in reactive tracking, but this being lower makes that not so possible. Fingertipping this, however, feels quite natural because of these nice curves this mouse has going on, even though I'm not the most used with that grip style. I still suck with fingertip gripping, but it still feels quite good and fun to use. Build quality wise, the mouse is like from a structural engineering 101 book. It feels incredibly solid even without the middle rod that you can remove, since the sides of the PCB support the shell really nicely. The main buttons feel very rigid also, and there is pretty much zero side wobble on them. The clicks are using the Huano transparent blue shell pink dots, and they are implemented very well, like on the most recent JERRORR mice releases. They are very snappy, quite light, and really minimal pre-travel and a nice bouncy post-travel, just the way I like. The side buttons are also again very nice feeling and somewhat usable. I have to be grateful here that there are side buttons, because that is not a given on fingertip mice. It might take some time to get used to them and you might get some accidental button presses, but with time I'm sure you can get used to them. The scroll wheel is also buttery smooth and the scroll wheel click is nicely balanced in terms of force. So yeah, here is a quick sound test of all the buttons. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can say about this mouse, since I already reviewed the regular HTR. I am not the best to say what works for fingertip grippers and what doesn't, but I've seen the HTR shape get a lot of love recently, and the HTR Pro version makes things even better. If you already have the HTR, I don't think getting this Pro version makes a lot of sense, but if you are looking for the lightest, best performing fingertip grip mouse that has working side buttons and a very nice feeling clicks, I can recommend the HTR Pro 8K from JERRORR. That's about it. Thanks for watching and goodbye.